Hey, welcome back to Fox Fight Game. Now, before I get into round 3, I just want to give Frankie Edgar a couple presents here. First of all, here, you can have your very own Topps cards. And I also want to give you these Everlast hand wraps that they sent me because I'm not a good boxer and you are. So you obviously would get better use out of them than I will.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
I'm working on my boxing now.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Steps.
Back in July, the UFC Fan Expo at UFC 100 was such a huge success that you think they'd invented the idea. But in fact, the MMA Expo preceded that momentous occasion. And October 24th and 25th at the Jacob Javits Center here in the Big Apple, all kinds of MMA brands and fighters are going to be in New York City. Now, Paul Paone joins us. He runs the expo. Paul, welcome.
Thank you.
You know Frankie Edgar?
Of course.
Now, when you do an MMA expo, do you have a guy like Frankie come in and teach a seminar and to attract people to come in and things like that?
That's part of it, actually. We've we looked at mixed martial arts. We broke it down into 3 different aspects: ground fighting, striking and stand-up, and clinch and takedowns. So what we've done, we've gone out and hand-selected some of the top trainers and fighters to represent their respective disciplines on the mats for everybody to see.
I noticed Crew Phil Nurse is going to be doing a Muay Thai seminar.
You did a workout with him, right?
I did do a workout with Phil, and he's a great guy. What a sweet guy, too. You'd be surprised. You wouldn't, have you trained with Phil?
No, I haven't.
I mean, this guy seems like the nicest guy in the world, and then he's a machine.
Right.
Holy cow, and he's got a hand. He's got a bone in his hand that just pops up from punching people so hard. Yeah. So who's coming to the expo?
Well, we've got a whole host of these elite guys, not just on the mats, but also we got some guys coming in to do some signings. But we've got representation through judo, Jimmy Pedro, Roddy Ferguson, boxing, Howard Davis Jr. is going to be there. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we've got a ton of guys. Most notably, we've got Marcelo Garcia, Murilo Bustamante, Marcos Santos, Fabio Clemente. Got a lot of local guys as well. And even kickboxers, Morpaz Auguste.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was on your show.
He was on my show.
He's going to be doing the stand-up and showing his skills.
Now, Morpaz has a great story. You know, this guy Morpaz started out in Holland, and what he does is he goes into gang neighborhoods. He beats up the leader of the gang and then says, you guys want to learn how to fight, you want to straighten your lives, you come to my gym. And that's how he got started. And now he's opening up these gyms. It's called Warrior Houses. It's pretty cool.
In fact, I recruited him after seeing your video as well. Well, I talked to their people, so he's a really nice guy too.
Well,
so
we're
happy to have him.
We're changing the world here at Fox Fight Game. No, so seriously, Jacob Javits Center is not a cheap place to have any kind of expo. So you must have either a lot of faith in MMA or you have a deep pockets yourself.
Well, I like to say I have deep pockets, but it's more faith in the community, really. I mean, you guys know, I mean, Frank, you know, it's ready to explode in New York City. The biggest billboard in Times Square is now the UFC fight 104 coming up. I mean, that's just an indication of it. But I think we're just tapping into how big it really is. I mean, this show hopefully will help give it a little bit more validation and say, hey, this is a real thing. It's happening. It's coming. Get ready. And hopefully we'll see the crowds as well. Now,
did you bring in, I know Hooters shows the fights. They have a license to show the fights at their restaurants. Did you bring maybe a restaurant in and says, hey, you guys, tonight, you're all here for the expo, but tonight is UFC 104. Obviously, you want to come to my bar and watch it. Did you think that far ahead? Well, yeah, there was actually a lot of requests from the local guys, but the reality is, and this is what gives me even more conviction to move forward with this, is that they're full anyway. They can't they wanted to come to do the show. It's like they're already full. So these UFC fights, I mean, MMA brings the crowds anyway. But we structured it so that the show ends at 8 p.m. on Saturday. It's a nice segue into the night. You go out, grab some dinner, watch the fights, come back the next day. Paul, I know what the fans get out of the expo, but what do the exhibitors get out of the expo other than just getting their brand out there? Right. Well, my background is in trade shows, so I'm also into mixed martial arts as well. But I've taken a business model that I have on my other shows, overlaid it on top of this one. So we actually have business-to-business only hours from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. each day of the show. So we've recruited people that can buy in wholesale. Those are like gym owners, martial arts school owners, wholesalers, both online and retail. They're going to come in, do business one-on-one with, quiet time. There's nothing else going on with the vendors. And then it's public from 11 a.m. until close.
So there's cash and carry crowd as well.
Okay.
So it should be big for him.
Well, good luck, and it's a great day for MMA on October 24th and 25th.
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
Good job.
Thanks a lot.
That's it for round 3. Round 4 coming up. We got 2 amateur fighters. Stand by.